The chart on your screen is EUR, USD, 4-hour time frame. You draw a line. Not because the line means anything. You draw it because it photographs well. You take the screenshot, open Canva, add a green arrow pointing up, add the text overlay, buy now TP, 1.094, SL, 1.082 inches, a font that reads professional from a distance and urgent up close. You post it to your Telegram channel. 4 seconds later, the first reply comes in. Locked in, boss. You don't know what EuroWire is going to do. Nobody does. But you already know what the next 48 hours are going to look like regardless, because you've been doing this for 14 months and you've learned something about the people in that channel that they haven't yet learned about themselves. They don't need you to be right. They just need you to sound like you've already seen what they haven't. It wasn't supposed to go like this. 18 months ago, you were 26 years working a mid-level logistics job in a city that had stopped feeling like yours. You'd found Forex on YouTube at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday, the way most people find it tired, slightly broke, and susceptible to the particular magic of a man in a Lambo explaining that the banks had been hiding something from you. You spent 4 months genuinely learning. You read about price action, you watched ICT videos twice, you opened a demo account, and you practiced, really practiced, with the disciplined focus of someone who has finally found the thing that's going to change the trajectory of everything. Then you blew 2 live accounts. The first one, $500 over 6 weeks. The second one, $1,200 faster. Not because you were stupid, because trading is genuinely hard and most people who try it lose money, and no amount of 11 p.m. YouTube watching changes that fundamental reality. But that reality didn't fit the story you'd already built around yourself, the story where you were the one who was going to figure it out. So you made an adjustment. You stopped trying to make money from the market. You started trying to make money from the people watching the market. The pivot felt small at the time. It didn't feel like a pivot at all. It felt like a business model. You'd seen the signal sellers, you'd been in their channels, you knew exactly what they were selling and exactly how thin the actual trading knowledge was underneath the packaging. And you thought, I know more than most of these guys. I could do this better. You were right about knowing more. You were wrong about what doing it better was going to mean in practice. You opened the Telegram channel on a Thursday evening. You called it something with the words capital or elite or FX in the name, the kind of name that scans as institutional from a distance. You designed a logo in Canva using a color palette you'd seen on a hedge fund website, navy blue, gold accent, clean sans serif font. You posted your first signal at 9 a.m. the following Monday. You had 12 subscribers. 3 of them were you on different devices, testing how the channel looked to a new member. By Friday, you had 84. By the end of the month, 340, not because you were profitable, because you posted consistently, because your charts looked clean, and because you had the one skill that no trading course teaches and no amount of practice replaces. You were very good at sounding like you knew. The signal format was the first thing you systematized. Entry price, take profit, stop loss. A short paragraph of analysis that used the right words, liquidity grab, order block, institutional flow, premium zone in a sequence that sounded like reasoning without actually being reasoning. The words were load-bearing not because of what they meant, but because of how they felt to read. They felt like being let into something. The win rate problem came early. In your first 60 days, you sent 34 signals. 19 were losers. That's a 44% win rate, which in any honest accounting is a losing strategy. But you had noticed something. When a signal hit TP, comments flooded in. Another banger. This man is different. Been with 3 other signal providers and nobody touches this. When a signal hit SL, the channel went quiet. People didn't celebrate losses publicly, they just absorbed them privately and stayed. So you started adjusting the presentation, you stopped posting the SL hit announcements, you let them disappear into the feed. But when TP hit, you screenshotted the result, added the channel watermark, posted it to your story with the caption, "We move." The wins became visible, the losses became invisible. And the channel's apparent win rate, the one that lived in the heads of your members, started to diverge sharply from the actual win rate, which was sitting somewhere around 50 to 50 on a good month. You told yourself this was framing, not fraud. Framing, not fraud. You said it often enough that the distinction held. The VIP tier launched at month 4, $79 a month, private channel, institutional grade signals, which meant the same signals posted 20 minutes earlier, plus a weekly market outlook video you recorded on Sunday evenings in a blazer, sitting at a desk with 2 monitors, both showing TradingView. The second monitor was displaying a chart you'd paused. It wasn't live. You'd paused it because a live chart moves and a paused chart looks more like you're in control. Month 1 of VIP. 23 subscribers, $1,817. Month 3, 91 subscribers, $7,189. You remember the exact number because of what it meant. It meant you had, for the first time in your adult life, made more from a side project in a month than from your actual job. You handed in your notice 4 weeks later. You framed it as going full-time on the business. You said it in a YouTube video. The video got 18,000 views. The comments said things like, "This is what betting on yourself looks like." You agreed with them because agreeing was easier than the alternative, which was explaining that you had bet on yourself in the way that a casino bets on the house edge, not by being better, but by structuring the game so that the losing was someone else's problem. The Telegram community had grown to 4,200 free members and 180 VIP by the time you introduced the course, $397. From zero to funded, the complete Forex roadmap. It was a 9-module video course you recorded over 2 weekends in January. The content was competent, genuinely competent. You understood the material. The sections on risk management were actually good. If a person studied it seriously and practiced for a year, they might develop a functional edge. But the marketing was something else. The sales page had a screenshot of an MT4 account showing $14,230 in profit over 60 days. The account was real. The period was real. You had not disclosed that the same account had lost $9,000 in the 60 days before that, or that you were trading a $200 demo account, not the $50,000 implied by the screenshot's visual weight. You had not lied, technically. You had just shown the part that was useful to show there is a member of your VIP channel named Taiwo. He joined 7 months ago from Lagos. He is 31. You know this because he once introduced himself in the community chat in a message that was so sincere, it made you pause scrolling for a moment. He said he'd been studying Forex for 2 years. He said he'd tried 2 other signal providers and been disappointed. He said he was giving it one more real attempt and that your content had given him something he hadn't felt in a while, which was that maybe the market was actually learnable. Taiwo has been VIP for 7 months. That's $553 he has paid you. He has also bought the course. 2 weeks ago, Taiwo sent you a DM. He said he'd been following your signals on a live account, small size, just to build confidence, and that he was down overall and trying to understand why his results didn't reflect the win rate you showcased in your highlights. He wasn't accusatory. He said maybe he was making execution errors. He asked if you could look at his trade journal. You opened the message. You read it twice. You have not replied, not because you don't know what to say. Because what you would have to say, if you were going to say the actual thing, is that the win rate he's been benchmarking himself against is a curated performance, not a verified record. That the signals he's been copying are not produced by someone with a demonstrable edge, but by someone who learned how to make the language of edge compelling to people who desperately want one to exist. You have not said any of that. You have opened the DM 6 times since then. You closed it 6 times. There is a 9-year-old in your free channel named Daniel who commented last week that Forex was going to help him pay his mother's rent. He used a fire emoji. 43 people liked the comment. You replied with, "We're gonna get you there, bro." You don't remember typing that reply. It came out automatically, the way the signal captions come out now, the way the blazer goes on before the Sunday recording, the way the words institutional flow and liquidity and confluence arrange themselves into paragraphs that sound like knowledge without going through the part of your brain where knowledge actually lives. The automation is the part that should frighten you most. It does frighten you, but only in the evenings. During the day, there is always something to do. Content to post. A new signal to prepare. The YouTube channel now has 22,000 subscribers. There is a brand deal inquiry from a broker. They want to pay you $3,000 a month to mention them in your videos. You know the broker has a reputation for slow withdrawals. You have not asked about it. You have not declined. The inquiry is sitting in your inbox. The Taiwo message is also sitting in your inbox. You have answered neither. You have found that an inbox is the easiest thing in the world to not open. You were invited to speak at a trading expo. Your name on the program, Forex educator and signal provider, 22K plus community. A woman approached you afterward, late 40s. She said she'd been following your channel for 3 months. She said her son, 24, had lost money following bad advice online and that she'd been worried about him getting back into trading, but that your content felt different. More grounded, she said. More honest. She said she was thinking of buying the course for him as a birthday present. You smiled. You said, "That's really kind of you." You took her card. You told her you'd send her a discount code. You did send the discount code. On the train back from the expo, you sat with your headphones in and didn't play anything. You just sat there. You thought about the word honest. You thought about how it had landed in your chest, not with warmth, but with a particular weight of something that's being used to describe a shape you're no longer filling. You thought about Taiwo. You thought about Daniel and the fire emoji and his mother's rent. You thought about the broker brand deal in your inbox. Your Telegram channel now has 6,800 free members. VIP is at 240, monthly recurring, roughly $19,000. The course has done $61,000 in total sales. You open your content calendar next week, why 90% of traders fail and what the 10% do differently. Tuesday, a signal. Wednesday, a reel from your desk setup. Thursday, a screen recording of a winning trade from 3 months ago that you've been saving for a day when the channel needed a morale boost. Taiwo is still waiting for a reply. You open the DM, you read it a 5th time, you close it. You are very good at sounding like you know. You are less sure, with every passing week, that the person who started this channel, the 6-year-old who blew 2 accounts and genuinely wanted to understand the market, would recognize what knowing times has come to mean. But there are 6,800 people in the free channel, and tomorrow you have a signal to post. So you open TradingView, you draw a line, not because the line means anything,